Welcome to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson. This is Joe Gibson, and we're doing a lot of Christmas stuff during this December. Today we're going to show you the Thomas Alva Edison studio production of A Christmas Carol. It's still around, didn't get lost. It was made in 1910 in the Bronx, and it's a good example of very early silent films before they became longer. This film is about 13 minutes. So Joe and I will watch it, and we want you guys to enjoy it. Let's start it. Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. God rest ye merry gentlemen's the music. Isn't it interesting they say Charity Relief Committee? It's two businessmen in the story, right?
Yeah.
By the way, this was directed by Searle Dawley and what was his name again? Mark McDermott plays Ebenezer Scrooge.
And then, of course, right there is Charles S. Ogle as Cratchit, right?
Yes. And what did Charles S. Ogle play for Edison Studio?
He was the Frankenstein's monster.
Yes, he was. And we actually did that movie a few months ago. I like the style here. Well, I don't know if I like the style. There's a style of the times where everything seems to happen in the same set. That was a lot like Frankenstein, too.
Yeah. Everyone's moving here. It's a very fluid scene so far.
In these very early silents, they really don't have a lot of dialogue. They just have narrative things like this. His nephew comes to visit him. I don't know what all these people are doing right now here.
Well, he turns them out because he's a hard-fisted miser.
Yeah, okay, so they're asking, maybe they were singing.
Probably.
You know, we see a movie like this and we say this is not really telling us a lot. But back then, when you didn't have, movies, it probably was a pretty big deal. So everything's happened in 2 minutes, and he's getting ready to leave. And he's telling Cratchit off for something. Well, I stand corrected. It looks like they do go to a different set here, but probably the same set. They just rearranged it.
For the times, a pretty good effect on the door knocker thing.
Yeah, it's not bad. This is the second oldest Scrooge movie that we can see. There's a British one from 1901, I believe, is still around. So this sums up Marley in, what is it, 4.5 lines.
He's wearing the chains, yay!
That is pretty good. This is not a bad ghost. I like the grandfather clock.
Scrooge can't believe it.
In 1910, the stage was considered far more respectable than film. Film was this newfangled thing. And so you get a 13-minute version of A Christmas Carol on film, but you would get an hour and a half, 2-hour version on the stage, of course. And it wasn't until, well, what's his name? Max Sennett was making really good shorts. And Charlie Chaplin started to make good versions in a few years. But you had to wait till like D.W. Griffith to get really good long movies. This was the norm back then. And once again, I think this is pretty cleverly done with the spirit, and it does look sort of otherworldly, doesn't it?
Yeah, transparent or translucent.
Yeah, and that must be his sister coming to take him home. I just like how that grandfather clock is always there.
I mean, not my favorite Christmas Past, but he's serviceable.
Well, it's nothing like the book, but most movies don't do the Ghost of Christmas Past very effectively. This must be Fezziwig.
And Dick Wilkins, right?
Dick Wilkins, yeah.
Oh, that might be
Maybe that's Mrs. Fezziwig.
Mrs. Fezziwig is going to meet Belle now, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it looks like they're having a party and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of extras for a film of this time, although I have to have them. TCM usually shows Christmas movies, silent movies, and they will a week from today, actually. And I bet you this movie's included in there. It usually is. I just don't know what Scrooge is feeling. Is he enjoying it? Okay, here is Belle, I suppose, loving him, and Scrooge cares more about money now, right?
Scrooge had turned away, now he looks back just to look at the memory, and he looks sad now.
A lot of times Scrooge is humbled too soon in films, particularly in the 38 version, where he's almost like Mr. Virtue by the time he gets to the Ghost of Christmas Present. Now they're telling you what the miser's wealth could do. You have to give them credit. I mean, they're doing a Christmas Carol in like 12 minutes, all right?
Very ambitious. Is it the same ghost?
That's a good question. It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
And we'll see if he puts a hood on for the next section or not.
The Christmas dinner of Bob Cratchit. A toast to all the world, even Scrooge.
Especially Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
There's Tiny Tim.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. What would it have been like to go to a flicker, as they called it back then, you know, and watch this movie?
Cratchit looks otherworldly too, though. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see.
I would imagine this film probably played along with a stage where the main production might have been a vaudeville show. Although there probably were places that we just went to see theaters, but this is only 13 minutes long. I wonder if you could go into a place and turn on, give them, I don't know if you could do a 13-minute movie though on Nickelodeon's, I have no idea. Now, I don't see why his nephew is rejected.
That is strange, yeah.
Or they're saying that Scrooge sees himself rejecting his nephew. They all seem to be having a good time.
He's throwing the party anyways, so.
Yeah. The nephew scene always interests me because he seems fairly well off. You know, he obviously doesn't have the money Scrooge does, but he seems to be having a bright future, you know, and everything.
Depends on the version, but yeah, I agree with that mostly.
Well, there's that dreadful 38 version where he's not married, and Scrooge makes him his partner. I don't know what Scrooge is
He looks happier now? He's
Yeah, I don't know.
want and misery, okay.
Okay, this is interesting because a lot of things don't have this scene in it. I think it's good for a Christmas Carol to show want and misery. Now, Scrooge is appalled. The ghost can't talk about be there no prisons, be there no workhouses, or they better die, they better do it, because he doesn't say that in this version. But I think it's a strong point that Edison had want and misery in here. Now let's see.
Christmas yet to come?
I don't know, right now he just seems to be having an attack.
Good Lord, he is. Someone help this man.
Well, I wonder if we're supposed to... Visions of the future, a miser's death, okay. They don't really show a ghost with him though, do they?
Oh?
Oh, here it is.
He's back, but he's wearing a veil. Okay,
Yeah.
that's serviceable.
This ghost is interesting because usually you see the ghost in black. I don't know who that is. Is that the woman? No.
Probably the Mrs.
Oh, she's stealing his stuff.
Yeah, she does that, and then she like
that's
pawns it
the
off.
Charwoman or something. He's dead, and then we see. All right, they don't even talk about the Cratchits here. Ebenezer Scrooge. He lived with. He died without a friend. I've seen this movie before. I just didn't remember that. It says he died without a friend. That's pretty in their face. Okay, so now he's just... Okay, I got news for you, Ebenezer. You've been in your house the whole time. but he's awakened by a Christmas Carol to a new life. Like I said, this is a fun version. I recommend people watch it. It's just fun to watch. It's a history lesson almost to how they made films. Now we got a bunch of kids singing. This time Scrooge will be fine with it, right? It's music to his ears.
Music to ours, too.
You can see the style of acting.
He's laughing.
Where it was heavily pantomime. And, it was over the top because they didn't have, speech.
Yeah.
It had to convey drama that way. He's giving them a bunch of money, so it's the spirit of Christmas at work.
I guess no turkey in this version.
This Cratchit?
Could be Fred.
This is Fred's house, right? It's hard in these abbreviated versions to find out what's happening. Yeah, because Scrooge is a little bit afraid to go in there, and guess what he sees?
Oh, he's going to give them the money.
I assume there's a charity relief guys, right?
Yeah. He's giggling.
Isn't he happy? I mean, he's made them happy.
Da 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 da.
Okay, so Fred. No, that's Cratchit, I think.
Is it Cratchit?
I don't know who it is. It's hard to. It looks like Fred.
He's supposed to go partying with Fred, though, and then what? Business partner.
Oh, okay. So this
You, my nephew, will be able to marry the girl of your
this
choice.
one also has Fred. See, I don't like that in the scoop. So this is the same as the 38 version where he gives Fred a job. Guys, I want you to know, people, I have watched this, but it hasn't been a year. And while I think it's a fascinating piece of film history, it's not what I think about when I think of A Christmas Carol. I think we should watch it, though, and learn from it.
It's my first time watching it. I kind of like this Scrooge for how, they have to overact a little bit in the silent era, and, All right, now we're at the Cratchits.
I wonder if this is going to have Scrooge visiting the Cratchit. Another black eye for me. I do not like Scrooge going to the Cratchit's house for dinner.
You don't like that?
No, I think it's silly. I forgive it in the Muppet Christmas Carol because I like the Muppet Christmas Carol for other reasons.
Okay, I like the Muppet Christmas Carol, so
yeah,
I'm good with that.
He's yelling at Cratchit. Cratchit says, "Watch out! I'll turn into Frankenstein someday." It's like he goes to visit them. I guess you presume he bought a big turkey for them.
And he's gonna give him a raise.
There's something about Cratchit going back to the office and encountering a reformed Scrooge that I find more touching than this Hollywood thing of Scrooge rushing over to Cratchit's house on Christmas Day. Because frankly,
that's true,
he's interrupting their family Christmas dinner, to be honest.
That is true, yeah.
But this is a fun version. I enjoyed it. I'm sure we're nearing the end of it right now. His nephew and he are going to be partners. I bet Bob gets a raise. They never mention it, but Tiny Tim's going to get better. And this is Plan 9 Crunch. We hope you've enjoyed watching 1910 Edison The Christmas Carol. Subscribe to us at Plan 9 Crunch at YouTube. And also subscribe to us or you can like us at Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog and TikTok too. And we're going to watch the credits right now. Viola Dana was 13-year-old child. The restoration was done by Philip Dusso. This is definitely in the public domain. And we thank you very much for your time. Please watch this sometime without us yabbering too also. That's a wrap.